Hello and welcome to Mastermind Academics, and in today's video I'm going to take you through year 12 decisions for the BSG simulation, which is the business strategy game. But before that, Mastermind Academics is offering tutoring services, so if you need help in the BSG simulation, text us on the email on the description or on the WhatsApp number. Thank you. So first we can see maybe our results for the year 11 before we move on to year 12. And we are the E company, and you can see that we are the leading company. We are now the leading company, and we had an overall score of 117 points and maybe an IE score of 116. So we are actually the winning team at the moment in this simulation. So we shall have to go through or maybe into decisions so that we can start making our decisions step by step. So for the decisions, this is what we have. We have the compensation and training part, but at first we need to go through the reports so that I can show you maybe the last round's reports before we move on. So if you can see the scoreboard, you can see that the E company was the leading with 116 points, or we had a score of 116. If we can go to the financial statistics, you can see that also the E company was leading with a net profit of 71,077 USD dollars. And maybe if you can go to the bonus points awarded, maybe the credit rating and image, you can see that the E company had a score of 18. So that's it. And maybe down here for the image rating, you can see that the E company had 86 points. Yeah, that's it. So we go straight to the compensation and training, which is now the first department in the year 12 of the simulation, and then we make our decisions. So after going through the simulations very well, we are now getting started to make the year 12 decisions, and we shall start with the compensation and training department. For the compensation and training department, we are making decisions for the base wage, and the base wage we shall just maintain it at 1% for the North America facility and 1% for the Asia Pacific facility. Next is the incentive pay and the fringe benefits. As we discussed in year 11, the incentive pay and the fringe benefits don't really have a return on investments, so there is no need of making decisions at the moment. So we shall just maintain them at 0.00 and 0 for the two. This is actually the best practices training, and for the best practical training, as I said earlier, it's good to invest to the maximum, because the best practices training have an impact in the, or have a cumulative impact, and we keep on benefiting from this. So it's good if we invest up to the maximum for all the two facilities, which is the North America and the Asia Pacific facility. Next is actually the supervisory staff, and for the supervisory staff is the ratio of production to workers, so we shall just give it 40:1, and also 40:1 for the second facility. Last one is actually the supervisory compensation, and for the supervisory compensation we shall just keep it at 1%, because we shall just maintain at that. You can see that the minimum salary is 60,600, and now if you put that 1%, it will increase to 61,206. So we need to have something higher than what you have in the minimum salary, so we shall just keep it 1%. Then we shall have to save our decisions before we move to the next department. So that's it about the compensation and training part. And the next department is actually the branded production. So for the branded production, here we are making decision based on what maybe on the SQ rating for our products, or maybe for our facilities. And here we make decision for the superior materials. So for the superior materials, we shall maintain at 40 for the two facilities. For the number of models, we can give the North America facility, we can just give it 300, and for the Asia Pacific also we can give it 300. Now for the enhanced number of features, we'll just maintain at maybe 12 or maybe 14, and 14 for the Asia Pacific. For the Sigma, we shall keep it at 5, we shall maintain at 5, and maybe you can see that our projected SQ rating for the North America facility is 6.6 and 6.3 for the Asia Pacific. But now I want this one to come up to 6.6 so that they can be the same. So I shall increase maybe this number up to 18, or maybe we shall give it a 20. And if you give it, for the Asia Pacific, you give it a number of features at 20, you can see that the SQ rating is 6.6 and 6.6 for the North America facility. So that's what we wanted to achieve at the moment. And you can see that our projected SQ rating at the moment is 6.6. Maybe if you can see the projected performance for the simple decisions that you have made, you can see that the image rating is at 91. And maybe we have an ending cash of 114 and 48. So you're making actually good profit, which is a 15,000 change from year 11, which is that's quite fine maybe at the moment. So you shall scroll down. You can see that the total branded production needed for year 12 is 11,300. And pairs to be manufactured, now we need to put the number of products that we want to manufacture. So North America facility, you can see that we have 5,000 to be manufactured. So you can just produce 5,000 here. And then and then for the Asia Pacific, you can see we need to produce 5,500. So you can just produce 5,500. Okay, if you add this and this, you can see it will be 10,500. But we need 11,300 products. So we shall have to produce overtime. You can see that overtime for the North America facility, we have 1,000. So you can produce here something close to maybe 5,500. And then see, you can see that we will have produced 11,000 products, but remaining 300 more. But also remember that we need to produce more products so that we can avoid stocking out. So for this one, we can produce 5,700. If you produce, and I can see that we can't produce 5,700, so let's produce 5,600 and see. 5,600 is fine. And this one we can produce maybe 5,700 and see. 5,800. Okay, shall just produce 5,700, then shall get back to this department. So you can see that we have produced 11,300 products and the demand is 11,300. So we have just satisfied our demand, but we shall have to produce more products to avoid stocking out. So we shall come back to this department. So that will be it for the branded production, and then we shall have to save our decisions before we move to the next department. On to the next department is the production facilities. And for the production facilities, here now we are going to talk about or maybe to initiate production improvements, and we'll be trying to expand. Maybe now in the last round we expanded the layout revisions to reduce production runs. So at the moment we shall purchase equipment, special equipment to increase the SQ rating by 1 star. So we shall give it a yes for the North America and a yes for the Asian Pacific facility. Or I can leave this first and then maybe see its own impact. You can see that the capital outlay will be $24,000. So you have another one which is robot assisted production to increase productivity by 50%. The capital outlay is $72,000 and $79,000 for the Asian Pacific. So that's quite expensive. And then you have purchase of special equipment by the reduce of 50%. Let's try this and this, and then you see the impact. You can see that the impact that it has, it will be bringing us to a negative. So there's no need to maybe to invest on the production improvements option at the moment. So we shall come to the equipment purchase of maybe production equipments for the new and refurbished. This is now where we can make decisions and decide if we can sell the existing equipment and then buy new ones. So for these ones, we shall have to, for the North America facility, we shall sell maybe shall keep it at 0. For this one, still at 0 for the Latin America. So for the new products, we shall buy maybe around 2,000 products for the Latin America facility and then see its own changes. For the Asia Pacific, we shall just maintain it like that. And then for the space for equipment or construction of additional space, we shall just leave it like that, and then we shall get back in that department. Though we shall save our decisions and then move to the next department. The next department is the wholesale marketing. Wholesale marketing. And for the wholesale marketing, now here we are focusing more on setting the wholesale price, the brand advert, the mailing rebate, and maybe the delivery time. So the wholesale price to retailers should be maybe a bit lower than the retailer price. So for the wholesale, we shall sell our products maybe at 60 for North America, and then 63 for the Europe, Africa, and then maybe around 60 for the Asia Pacific, and 63 for the Latin America. For the brand advertising, we shall just give it 15,000 for the North America, 11,500 for the Europe, Africa, 17,500 for the Asia Pacific, and Latin America at 9,000. Shall just maintain it like that. Mailing rebate, we shall have to give it 5. 5 for all of them. Then you have the delivery time. For the delivery time, we shall give it 2 weeks. And then the retailer support, we shall just maintain it as it was in the last round. 42.50 for North America, 5,000 for the Europe, Africa, and then 3,000 for the Asia Pacific, and then Latin America 27.50. I can see that you have the retail outlets willing to carry to your brand. The internet price is less than 40% above, so you can still give it 60, no problem. And this one you can still give it 60, no problem. So that will be it. And then for the competitive assumptions that we have, we shall come to them later after making our decisions. So we shall save our decisions and then move to the next department. So we shall make decisions for the these two departments which are always independent and are not impacted by other decisions, so which is the celebrity endorsements and the corporate citizenship. So for the celebrity endorsements, you can see that we are using only 3 celebrities: Judy Judge, Kimmy Gmail, and Bad Birkenstock. So we shall have to give it 15,000, because remember that each one is taking 5,000 per year, so we shall give it 15,000. And that will be our decisions at the moment, so we shall save the decision. Then for the corporate citizenship, we have the CSR initiatives, and these decisions are important for our image rating. So for the use of recycled packaging, we shall give it a yes. Energy initiatives, we shall leave it at 125. Maybe the charitable contributions, we shall just leave it. For the ethics enforcement, we shall give it a yes. For the improved working conditions, we shall continue. For the additional safety equipment, we shall also continue. And then for the institution supply of code of conduct, we shall leave it at yes. Then we shall have to save our decisions before we move to the next department. So that's all about the corporate citizenship. And then the next department shall come back to the internet marketing. So for the internet marketing, here we now remember the price you sell your products in the internet should exist to that one that you sell your products in the wholesale, maybe by something close to 40%. So we shall leave it at 84 for the North America, 86 for the Europe, Africa, 84 for the Asia Pacific, and 86 for the Latin America. For the search engine advertising, we shall maintain it as it was in the last round, and then for the free shipping, we shall just give it a no. And then we shall have to save our decisions before we move to the next decision. So we shall have to go back to the branded production and maybe balance it. So you can see that the total branded products needed at the moment is 10,900, and pairs to be manufactured, we need to manufacture our products here. So we shall maybe manufacture something close to 5,000 in the North America, and 5,600 in the Asian Pacific, and you can see that you shall have produced 10,600 products, but you need to produce 11,000 products and more. So we shall have to produce maybe here 5,500 and see, And if you produce 5,500, you shall have produced 11,1100. Maybe you produce 5,700. Okay, so you shall have produced 11,200 products, but the demand is at 11,000 products. The reason why we are producing 200 more is because we want to avoid stocking out in the company. So that will be it for the branded production. We are just balancing the number of products that we are producing at the moment, and we want to produce 200 more products so that we can avoid stocking out. So we shall save our decisions and then move to the next department, which is now the distribution and warehouse. For the distribution and warehouse, you can see that the things that are here. For the North America, in the North America facility, we have 2966. 50. So we can just give here for 50 and see maybe the changes that we'll make. So I shall give here 454 so that we can balance, and you can see the remaining pairs is at 0. This one, you can see you have 168 more, so you can just give it here 168 so that you can balance, and you can see it will come to 0. For the inventory clearance, we shall just leave it like that, and that will be it. So we save our decisions for the distribution and warehouse. So on to the next, which is now the private label operations. So we shall go to the private label operations, and here we have to make decisions for the superior materials. And for the private label operations, we normally take a look at the global minimum SKU rating and compare it with what we have at the moment. You can see that the global minimum SKU rating is at 4.7, and ours is for the North America is 4.0. For the Asia Pacific 3.6, so we need to improve on that. So we can give this a 10 and see, or we give it a 16, or we can give it a 20 so that you can surpass. And also this one you can give it a 20 and see, and maybe give it a 24, rather give it a 26 so that we can surpass it. So you can see the global minimum SKU rating is at 4.7. For the North America we have 4.9, and for the Asia Pacific we have 4.8. For the superior materials, you can just give it 16 and 10, or maybe you can just give it 10, 10 for the two. And then this one you can reduce it to 12. This one you can reduce it maybe to 16 and see, or you can reduce it to 18. Yeah. So the global minimum is at 4.7. For the North America, we have 5.1. For the Asia Pacific, we have 5.0. Maybe for the private label pairs to be produced and shipped, we can just give here something close to 400. That one 0, 0, and then also this 400. You can see we can't do that, so we can just maintain it at 0, 0, no problem. Then you have the private label contract offers, which is not open at the moment. So we shall save our decisions, and then we move to the next, and which is the last decision, which is the main one, which is now the finance and cash flow. So for the finance and cash flow, we first go through maybe the projected results for the year 12 performance, and you can see that our image rating is at 85, and the investor expected 72, so meaning we have surpassed what the investor wants, and we have an ending cash of 100,000, which is positive 1,198 change from year 11. So we are quite fine, but we'll have to take a loan so that we can finance our company. And maybe we can just take a loan of 200,000 and see. And so if we take a loan of 200,000, you can see that we shall have an ending cash of 300,070, and we will have a change from year 11 of 201,198, which is quite fine at the moment. So we are actually expecting big results of them in this year 12. So that will be it in this round. So if you need help in BSG simulation or any related simulation, kindly text me on the email on the description or on the WhatsApp number, and I'll sort you out. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to share and subscribe and like. Thank you.